Bob, you guys have played pretty well the last 10 games. Did you see this one coming at all?
No. No, I didn't. I don't know. I've done this for 40 years, man, and I don't. We didn't go like we usually do in practice. But they've been, they've been good. They've listened. They've tried to do what you ask them, and I don't know. We just didn't. We had no bounce. Had no pep in our step. They got to every loose ball. They start the second half. We block 3 shots. They get 7 points out of 3 blocked shots. I didn't see it coming. I didn't think we were like we were in Kansas City, ready to play, but
So you got to ask about Derek. What was the situation with him? Can you tell us?
yeah, he was late. And this whole mess started because I compromised my principles. You try to help people, and some people you can't help. I don't know, man. We're this country has gotten so into individual rights that they don't give a damn about anybody else. And you got 13 guys on a team. You can't do everything in the world for one guy when it's detrimental to 12 others. But we're doing that as a country. We're certainly doing that in the NCAA. And the thing about it is, and I just said this on the radio, when I first got here, our best player was our hardest worker. Joe Alexander was our hardest worker. He was our best player. After that, Deshaun Butler. And Day wasn't, he worked, but he wasn't a great worker. He became a great worker, and he was our best player. And you go right down the line, and I was thinking about it, the great teams that I've had have always had, our leader has always been our hardest working guy. And so you had no choice but to fall in line. It's like anything else, man. Everybody wants to be the top dog, but they don't want the responsibility of it. They want to run around, beat their chest, and say, yeah, I'm going to lead this team. Yeah, you have. The wrong damn direction, So, and I just, it kills me because I know 6,500 people show up, man. Show up to starting to believe in these guys, and we do this. It's hard. And I've never lost, not never, but that's not me. It's just, it's eating me up. But I guess the positive is I've learned don't compromise your principles for anybody. Nobody's more important than the team, which is the way it's always been. And this year, for whatever reason, that's not what I did. That was my fault. It's 100% my fault.
Is it disappointing? Is it maddening that so many of these guys have played with JC and they didn't absorb that work ethic?
Walk in any workplace and you got, the people who get paid the most generally work their ass off and the other people don't. Do you think they see that guy and they say, I want to be like him, and then very, very few of them, right? Everybody finds their own level, I guess. I don't. JC had great work ethic. Tariq had a great work ethic, for that matter. Tavon. I think it's more than that. It's you got to have some heart. You You got to play through things. You got to play through being tired. You got to play through being hurt. You got to play through, things happening off the floor. You got to have a single-mindedness of purpose.
The way Coastal started the second half, did it seem like it was too much to overcome at that point? Players said they were stunned a little bit by some of the shots they were making.
Well, where they were standing, they had a pretty good look at it, eh? I don't know, Justin. I mean, they made shots. I mean, they did. But we had pretty much the same shots and didn't make any. And we got intimidated around the goal by some 6'5", 6'6" guys. I mean, let's be honest. We're usually trying to score around the goal against people much bigger than what they are. We didn't make shots, and that happens sometimes. But I don't know. It happens when it happens to everybody. But we just didn't. We didn't pass the ball. You come out of a timeout and with a set play, and they don't know they don't know what they're doing. That part's really, really, really frustrating. We walk into things. We just walked. We walked into press breaker. We walked into sets. And I probably made a mistake, being too easy on them. Probably. I don't know that though. I can't read their minds. I just know this. I know the difference between winners and losers is winners show up all the time. They don't look for outs. They don't say, wow, they're making them. They say, that SOB ain't going to get another one on me. It's not, wow, I was dumbfounded by the way they made shots. Well, I'll try to guard them once, see if that works. Try to get up on them. Maybe don't let them go to their right hand when they're right-handed. Don't let them finish with their right hand when they're right-handed. How about maybe make a rotation? Don't stand and watch. We got a lot of watchers. A lot of watchers.
It's hard to say after a game like this, but how do you feel about the core you have coming back the next year and with a whole off season to work with them?
Well, to this point, we've added a guy who's lost one game in 3 years, and probably the best rebounder in high school basketball. So obviously, that's going to help our talent pool. I'm trying to say this the right way. It's what I told them. You show us every day whether you really want to be a part of something special or whether you don't. And a lot of them on a daily basis tell me I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this because they're not doing the right things. And that's that thing. Well, you try to help them. I tried to help a bunch of guys this year, and it's one of the worst seasons in the history of West Virginia basketball because I hurt the hole. I'm not going to do that again. And I've never done that before. I mean, I've gotten rid of my best player before because he was hurting everybody else. And we became much, much better. We went to the NCAA tournament with 3 football players, 2 tight ends and a linebacker. Lost by 4 to Michigan. And I had gotten rid of my best player because he just wouldn't do right.
Anything else?
Well, let me just say, here's the thing that bothers me. Joe Alexander went from not playing very, very much, really, from what I understand, to being one of the better players in the country. Deshaun Butler went from being a guy who Rutgers didn't even offer, and he lived right down the road, to one of the best players in America. Kenyon Martin came in, I swear to God, couldn't make a shot from 5 feet. Ended up being the best player, unanimously the best player in America. Danny Fortson came in. Danny was a high school All-American, but Danny couldn't. I mean, Danny was a terrible free throw shooter, but they worked. They improved. They listened. They tried. They didn't sit on their ass and say, "Oh, I'm going to be the best player in the country." They were in the gym. They were asking for help. They were doing things that weren't easy. They were hard. They were doing hard things, pushing themselves. You know, how many times did they beat us down the floor? Can't run down the floor? And that's that old stuff, which we're never going to have again, because we're going to be maybe trying to do the right thing by them and all that. Maybe I was way too soft on them from the time the season was over. You know, through this thing, I maybe should have practiced them harder. Maybe should have ran them more.
Have guys like that in this bunch?
That what?
That will have that work ethic to improve?
I don't know. You can put a lot of time in the gym, but you got it. But you know, it's about improving, and it's not about you know. Yeah, I think in today's world, you get guys that can show you how many times they can dribble between their legs and how fast, or how many times they can dribble around in a circle or a figure eight or whatever. I've never seen anybody do that in the game. You know, you have to figure out. You have to figure out what you can do to help the team. That's what I did. You know, Coach Garner told me I'd never play here. I said, "No, I will. I'll figure out what you need the most, and I'll be the best guy at it." It didn't make me a great player, but it got me a lot of playing time and a lot of respect from my peers.
You guys obviously have a lot going on this offseason. Is this going to be a difficult offseason, busy offseason? How would you characterize this? Important offseason?
I just got out of hospital for AFib and pneumonia. Anything's going to be a damn improvement.
You're still not sure about some of the guys on the team, whether they have that, as you said.
It's not about me being sure about them. It's them about being sure about themselves.
How did they prove that to you in an
Do the right
off-season?
thing. Do the right thing. I know who's in the gym, who's not. They got swipe cards. I know when they come in. Do the right thing. You know, don't go hang out on the corner. Don't do things you shouldn't do. And to think that we don't know what they're doing is absurd. We do know what they're doing. It's not hard, you know. Do the right thing. Work hard. You can make something yourself, because there's so many people who won't. It becomes increasingly easier and easier and easier in this country to be good at something, because other people are so damn lazy they won't do anything. They're easy to pass.
About just to tighten up one thing, Derek's late for the game, shoot around or practice.
He was late coming in for the game. They have a time that they're supposed to be on the floor. Now, Javon Carter's time was about 2 hours before that time, you know, which is what you really want your best player to be.